Hi, good night, everyone. This is Onleilove Alston from NIDC. Can everyone can everyone hear and see me? Okay. So welcome to our October Family Support Network workshop. And my name is Onleilove Alston. And welcome, Kai. I hope I'm saying your name right. Anicia, Yaneri, Jania. I am so sorry. And Hulda.
Janady.
Janady, thank you. And my name
You're
is
welcome.
Only Love, like I only love you. If everyone can put what city you're from in the chat and what school your kids go to while we're waiting, and I'll just play some music while we're giving others a chance to come in. But thank you so much for being on time. Okay, PS483 from the Bronx. Thank you so much. And just give me a moment to let some more people in. And to welcome to the October Family Support Network workshop. And my name is Onleilove Alston from NIDC, and I'm the social worker. And as you're coming in the room, if you can say in the chat what city you're from, what borough, if you're from a different state, what state you're from, and then also what school or schools, plural, do your children go to? And I just want to welcome everyone. The topic this night is Mastering Time, Strategies for Family Success and Harmony. If you can see me and hear me, can you put a 1 in the chat? Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kaya. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Danina. Thank you. Okay. Zeta Charter School, Bronx, PS 77, 483. Anicia, make sure to put your school in the chat. And since many of us are here and to respect your time, we will get started right away. But while we are getting started, make sure to introduce yourself. And if at any time you can't see or hear me, please make sure to say something so I can adjust. And just our little icebreaker, sometimes we have people from different states. So put the city or state you're from. Good night, everyone. Can you still see the slides or did the slides go away? Oh, can someone come off of mute and just let me know if you can still see the slide?
Right now, no, but before, yeah.
I see you now, but I saw the slide when you had it posted before.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see the slides now.
Okay, thank you, everyone, and welcome. And unfortunately, we will not have live verbal translation of the slides, but all the slides are done in Spanish if you would like to follow along with the slides. So NIDC stands for Neighborhood Initiatives Development Corporation. And if you hear us or see us saying FSN, that stands for Family Support Network. And the Family Support Network was founded in 2023 out of 40 years of our work in various schools in the Northeast Bronx and a little bit south in the Bronx as well. And for about 41 years, we've been working with the schools in the community, with our after school programs, our summer camp programs, but also our housing department as well, and with our community engagement department. And so the Family Support Network is developed to give parents an opportunity to network, support each other, and increase your skills, not only as parents, because you know how to be parents, but to increase your ability to practice self-care, to make sure that you and your family are practicing good mental health, to make sure that you all are learning about safety as it relates to technology in schools. And so parents can learn from each other. So if at any time you have a question, you can put it in the chat. You can also go to your Zoom menu, and you can find the emojis and raise your hand if you have a question, or you can unmute and say, excuse me, and verbally ask your question. If there's something you want to share that isn't a question, still share that as well. And Kai, when you put your information for the school in the Bronx, it only went to me. So if you could make sure it goes to everyone. If you haven't already, please put the city you're coming in from and the name of your child in the chat, or not the name of your child in the chat. I am so sorry. Put the school your child goes to in the chat. Our executive director is William Foster, and you can learn more about NIDC on our website, nidcny.org. And so the Family Support Network is a supportive community for parents and caregivers. So even if you're not a parent, if you're a grandparent, a godparent, a foster parent, someone who cares about children, who helps raise children, a teacher, a youth worker, anyone who is involved in the lives of our children, or anyone preparing to be a parent is welcome to the Family Support Network. And it's empowering parents to network, learn, and grow together to raise the next generation of healthy and thriving children through our workshops, which happen virtually and in all of our partner schools. The virtual workshops and the all-site events are open to anyone, and you can share them. Also connecting parents to social services and those types of resources, mental health resources, educational resources for young people. Thank you so much. And also our monthly Family Support Network newsletter. So by registering for this workshop, the first week of every month, you will get the Family Support newsletter with all of our events in person, virtually, that are occurring. Also with other NIDC resources and events like our financial literacy workshops, our home buying workshops, our housing resources, and then just general family resources, free guides, free activities, programs that you and your children can take advantage of. And also you'll be the first to know about our Health Hub, which we also launched in 2003, which are monthly in-person interactive health workshops with Montefiore Hospital, Albert Einstein. We've had a health resource fair. We've had healthy cooking demos. We have organizations that come and give out things. We've had a Zumba and yoga series. So, and at our events, we do try to give out a prize, and if they're in person, a refreshment. And this is just about Family Support Network in Spanish, and also about Family Support Network in Arabic. And we are sorry we can't have verbal Spanish translation tonight, but we do have most of the slides, and sorry that all the slides can't be in Arabic. Does anyone have any questions or comments before we go forward? Oh, what branch of Montefiore do you work in? Yes, they're our first partner for the Health Hub. We've done a good amount of health workshops with them. And if you can, come on camera. If you can't, that is okay. But in order to win our prize, when that time comes, part of that will be coming on camera and unmuting. But Yonerai, I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong, but let us know what branch of Montefiore.
Hi, I'm Janady. Sorry, my kids are in the background.
Okay, sorry, that's okay. Thank you for saying your name.
You're welcome. I work in the neurosurgery department at Montefiore by Moses, so I'm by 210th Street.
Oh, wow. I know that that must be rewarding, but I know you can also see some hard things as well.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. So make sure to take care of yourself. Thank you so much. And thanks to Montefiore for partnering with us as well.
You're welcome.
And so to get started, as we're in the beginning of the school year, our workshops are really being shaped around setting your family up for academic success. So in September, we had an overall workshop around how to practically every day set your kids up for academic success. And now we're going to delve a little bit into the weeds and start talking about mastering time strategies for family success and harmony. So how do you utilize time, and how do you utilize time management skills and resources so that your family is not only successful at school, at work, it hobbies and teams, but so your family's in harmony. Because sometimes, especially for New York City families, we're all over, between school and after school and work and our house of faith or our kids sports teams or cheerleading or instruments. We can be all over and we see each other only for a few minutes at night, and then we go to sleep and it starts again. So we want you to see time management as a tool that can help your family not only be successful and get more done, but also help your family be more harmonious. And so, why is time management essential for family well-being? Well, when you have quality time together, quality family time, it enhances your well-being, your harmony. It gives you an opportunity to laugh together, to create memories that will last a lifetime. But when we talk about quality time, we're not talking about everyone in the living room sitting down, pointing, staring at the TV on our phones. So you can be with people, but not be with people. So quality family time is when you're interacting together. Research shows that spending time together fosters emotional resilience, reduces stress, and strengthens family bonds. Can everyone still hear and see me? Okay, thank you. And also, time management and family time helps to balance work, school, and personal needs. Time management allows the family to allocate your collective energy and resources efficiently. So if you know that everyone has something to do after school or after work, Monday to Thursday, your family may think twice before taking on a volunteer opportunity at your church that's Monday through Thursday. Also, how do you balance your resources? Sometimes you may save more money by cooking, but you may save time by ordering out. Which is more important for that particular week? If you're thinking about your meals before the week starts, you'll know what nights you can cook, what nights you can have leftovers, what nights you may need to order out. And this, when you balance everything together, it makes sure that all members' needs are met. Sometimes when the family and everyone in it is so busy, one person's hobby or skill or commitment could be overlooked because there's no time to go to, the youngest daughter's gymnastics tournament because we have things to do every night of the week. So when you manage your time, you're looking at all your responsibilities, and then you may even have to go through what is absolutely necessary and what is, okay to do, but not mandatory, so that you're seeing not only you, but the whole schedule for the family. And you can do that through online or printed calendars, planners. Some schools give students planners. The dollar store has phenomenal, like Dollar Tree has phenomenal wall candles. I mean, they have candles, but wall calendars, planners, even some have academic planners. So you can use that planner for the school year for you and your family. Making sure that you even have a list up of what you need to buy. If you go to places like Dollar Tree or Amazon, you can find, booklets where you write down what you want to buy. So when you're shopping, you can get in and get out and also not spend money, because the way supermarkets are set up, they make sure when you're near the register and when you're walking through the aisles, you see all the junk food, and they're planning on you making some impulsive buys while you're waiting in line. But if you have organized and on a list what you need, you'll be less likely to do that. But overall, when you and your family have good time management, you reduce stress and you increase productivity. 91% of people believe that effective time management reduces stress, and 90% find that it boosts productivity. So last May at PS 96, we had a big family self-care night where the parents had various self-care activities. Some of you were there. The kids had facilitated children's self-care activities led by an educational self-care group. And we just took the time to rest and unwind towards the end of the school year, because stress can lead to health problems, mental health problems, and even behavior and concentration issues for children in school. And so one of the easiest ways to help control stress is to manage your time. When does everyone go to sleep? When does everyone wake up? When does the technology go out? When we do our workshop on sleep routines and sleep hygiene, which is coming up, you're going to learn that if you want to get a good night's rest, it is best to turn off laptops, computers, and phones about 1 hour before you plan on going to bed. You can look at a TV that's far away, you can listen to music, but the blue light, the lighting in cell phones and laptops and computers, and because they're closer to your eyes, that makes it harder for your body to go to sleep quickly. Because some of us, we toss and turn for about 4 hours and then only get about 4 hours or 3 hours of really good restorative sleep. And so when you're thinking about time management, I want you to think about what is one way that you're going to keep track of your family schedule. Are you going to use the calendar on your phone? Are you going to use Google Calendar on your email? Are you going to use a planner? What type of planner? Is it going to be a weekly, monthly planner? They even have family planners out there now. Are you going to have a big calendar up in the house that everyone can see and write down important dates on that calendar? It's really important to think about one tool that you can use to help your family organize time. As I said, some schools give out planners to students, but also the dollar store, Dollar General, many places have planners for the month, the week, the year, especially as we get closer to 2025. A lot of planners and calendars will be on sale. You also can go online and just look up family planners or downloadable planners. You can go on Canva and also just type in planner, and you can personalize and make your own planner to use online or to print. And many places have free planners that you can print right offline. After the workshop, I'll be sending some resources connected to this topic. And one of the resources is a blog by a mother where you can read about her experience with time management and then download various family planner tools that you can use on your computer or phone or even print and use. But does anyone, well, really quick, so if you're going to use a calendar of any kind, a virtual calendar, a hang up calendar, wall calendar, or a planner or weekly calendar, it is okay for your kids to have their own planners. A lot of girls like to plan. Some schools give out academic planners. It's okay for you to have your own personal calendar. But since we're talking about organizing the family, there does need to be one place where the family's calendar is together, whether that's on your phone calendar, whether that's on the computer. Google has a free calendar. If you have a Google email, you sign into Google, just go to the upper right-hand corner where you see that it looks like a silver wheel, drop that down and you'll see you have a Google Calendar that can be put on your phone. And they have a lot of great resources, but you want to have one space where everyone's schedule is together. When does your son get out of after school? When does your daughter have cheerleading? When do you go to choir practice? When do their grandparents visit from another country? It doesn't have to be extravagant. It can even be a blank notebook where you write the date and a list of what your family has to do. But you do want a place where everyone's commitments are together so that you can see what's going on for the whole family every day. Even if your husband picks up your kids from after school, you know Thursdays at 5 p.m., that's where they're at. If your oldest child takes your youngest child to swim lessons, you know Sundays at 12 p.m., that's where they're at. So if you use a digital calendar, like Google Calendar is very good for this. You can share the calendar with anyone else who has an email. And if they have the calendar on their phone, your appointments and theirs will show up on your phone's calendar or on your Google Calendar. So you'll be able to see, while I'm working on Wednesdays, my son is at baseball practice. And so before we move on, I wanted to ask if you have an idea of what type of calendar you're going to use for your family, whether you're going to use an electronic calendar, a planner, or a notebook. Can you write in the chat what type of tool you're going to use to keep track of your family's calendars? An electronic calendar, that's good. I figured, Anicia, you're from a tech background, and Anicia is going to help us with our parent tech workshop that we're having this fall. Now, Anicia, will you use a Google Calendar or another type of tech calendar? Oh, we have a Google Calendar. Even at a lot of jobs at NIDC, we use the Outlook calendar, but I've been on jobs that use Google calendars. Phone calendar and a regular calendar. It does sometimes help to have a regular calendar just in case something happens with technology. There was a time this summer where all of Microsoft Outlook wasn't working for people, thousands of people all over the world. You don't want your family's calendar to be, I'm sorry, there's like a fruit fly, but you don't want your family's calendar to just go away because there's an issue with the internet. So I see phone calendar, regular calendar, electronic calendar. That's great. So you can start going on. I believe if you have Yahoo, they also have a calendar. If you have Outlook email, they definitely have a calendar. And most of the calendars can connect right to the calendar on your phone. So thank you, everyone, for participating. Now that we are thinking about where we're going to put our family's schedule, we have to think about what are we going to do together as a family. So you may want to have regular family meetings. And I know when I was living in West Africa, this was a big deal where some families had meetings once a week, ever so often. But these can be weekly or bi-weekly or monthly check-ins to coordinate your schedules together to discuss family goals. You know, is the family saving up to buy a house? Does the family want to go on a big vacation in August? Or to adjust priorities as needed. So maybe someone just passed away, and so you can't go on that trip for Christmas, and you want to update your children. Now, you may say, well, why would I have my children in these types of meetings? It almost sounds like work. But you want to have all the children there, just a time for you all to bond. You can have snacks and drinks, even if it's a little toddler. You want everyone to see a family working together so they know what that looks like, even if they're too young to participate. You also can this can give your kids an opportunity to see how meetings work. We all been on jobs where we've had to sit through meetings and some people didn't know how to act, or they were talking too much or over talking, and maybe they could be the best person at their job, but they are disruptive in meetings. So just to show your kids how meetings work, it's another chance to bond. You can play a game together after you talk about your schedule, but also you're showing your children that you don't just live life haphazard, but you're planning your life. Because sometimes people don't understand the importance of planning until they get older. And that's when months and years pass by with no intention at all. And then you want to prioritize flexible routines, meaning you want to allow flexibility to adapt to unforeseen events while maintaining stability for core family activities. So, a core family activity may be your monthly family meeting, your family reunion, going to your house of worship together, having a family game night, having a family meal for Christmas or Sundays or Saturdays or Fridays. There might be some really core family activities that are very important for you and your family. You want those to be the center of your calendar, but then you want other things to be flexible. Meaning when you do your calendar, especially if you're using a phone calendar or a planner that has hour by hour, what you can do every day, you don't want to fill in every single hour back to back with things to do, especially if it's things where you have to travel, even if it seems like, oh, it's just the corner store. Oh, the school is only 2 blocks away, but due to weather, due to running into someone due to your children playing around, due to, any happenstance, you getting a call, a 5-minute trip might really turn out to be a 10 or 20-minute trip. So when you're putting things in your calendar, especially if you're traveling, always leave an extra 10 or 15 minutes for traffic, for public transportation, but also just breathing space in your schedule. Because especially being parents, things always go as unexpected. And we know as New Yorkers, even if you look up the directions to a place and Google Maps says it's 20 minutes, with the way public transportation is, it's going to be 20 or 30 minutes. So always add in extra time, and also make sure that there's time on your calendar where you and your family are just resting, just playing, not doing anything, where the kids can just go outside and run around. And you can even schedule free time and really guard that. Are there any questions before we move forward? Any comments anyone would like to share about planning together with your family? You can share in the chat or you can unmute. And so I want to talk about how many of you have multiple obligations. Raise your hand if you're on camera, or just put me in the chat. If you have more than one obligation, raise your hand or put me in the chat. Who has multiple obligations because of your kids? 3 or more. Wow. Angie, me. I saw Kai raise her hand. She raised her hand quick. Anicia, yes. Multiple obligations. And let's be honest, your kids' obligations become your obligation. So sometimes if they're on the football team, it's like you're on the football team because you're going to practices, games, you're helping them fundraise. If your daughter's a cheerleader, now you feel like you're cheering again. You might be home helping her with her cheer routine. You might be helping to make the outfits. Okay, I see, again, especially working at a hospital, I see everyone has multiple obligations. So when we think about multiple obligations, I want you to also include your children's obligations in those, because a lot of times you're helping them, whether paying for the lessons, dropping them off, picking them up, enrolling them, signing, slips, permission slips. So when you're looking at your calendar, once you choose what instrument you're going to use to put your family's calendar, what are some core important events and meetings for your family, you now want to write down everyone's obligations. And obligations are things you absolutely have to do. Like the kids have to go to school. They, your oldest child has to take their SAT. You have to go to work. Now, there are some things that you may like to do, but they're not obligations. But you want to begin to prioritize based on urgency and importance. So if your child is in the 8th grade this year, they are going to have to apply for New York City high schools or even public high schools enroll, get admitted this year. That's not something you can put off, 2 years from now, unless you're fine with them going to the zone school. But most kids may want to go to a school that specializes in a certain career or art. So there are some tools where you can actually organize your obligations and begin to see and discern what is urgent and very important, what can you delegate or give to someone else, and what you need to drop. And so one of those tools is the Eisenhower matrix. And I just want to show you an example of that. So this is the English version of the Eisenhower matrix, and there's different versions of this. You can just Google Eisenhower matrix and you will find blank ones online. You can also just draw this. It's a box with 4 quadrants, and on the top is urgent and non-urgent. On the side is important and not important. And then in quadrant 1, you put the items that are urgent and important to do, like, working on that project for work, going through the high school application process with your child. Not urgent may be going to the movies next week. It's something you want to do, but you don't have to do. And then in the third box, you want to put so in quadrant 2, you want to put things that are not urgent but are important to plan. Meaning, if your family has a reunion in July 2025, it might not be urgent, but you have to plan. You have to buy the tickets in advance. You have to sign up for the reunion in advance. You have to make sure your children are not in school or not in summer camp in advance. But it's not something that has to be done now, but you still need to be thinking about planning it months from now. Not important are things that are urgent, but they're not important. So urgent but not important may be doing 3 weeks of laundry, but if you can, you may be able to delegate it to one of your older children, or to a wash and fold service at the laundromat, or to a service that picks up and drops off the laundry, or it's something that's important, but you can delegate it. So your mother said, twice a week she can pick up your daughter from cheerleading practice because she wants to spend time with her. So those 2 days a week that your mother can pick her up, you're delegating it to her. It is important that someone pick up your daughter from cheerleading practice, but you can delegate it to someone else. And then, yes, I'm going to get to quadrant 4. I'm going through each quadrant. So the final quadrant is quadrant 4, and it's not urgent and it's not important. So you may eliminate it. So we all love our friends, but you may have a friend that calls you twice a day to gossip about the annoying people on her job for an hour each time. And it's slowing you down from cooking dinner. It's keeping you up late to rest. You may have to eliminate that and explain to your friend, I'm a mother, I work, I'm a father, I work, and it's the school year, so I can't really talk on the phone for long periods of time every day. But why don't we schedule one Saturday or Sunday a month to catch up on the phone, or go out to catch up, and you could tell me all your favorite stories. Or sometimes you eliminate things that you've committed to, but you no longer can do, like volunteer opportunities. So maybe you were volunteering at an animal shelter, but now 3 of your kids are in high school and you all are looking at colleges every weekend. And so you have to let that go. It's not that the animal shelter is not important, but in this stage of your life, it's not urgent and it's not as important as helping your kids get into a good college. And so this is a Spanish version of the Eisenhower matrix. And again, if you look it up online, there are blank ones, and you can even draw this. But it's just important that you, one, know all the obligations you have, and then know all the optional items you have. You may feel like everything on your calendar is like, I absolutely have to do this, but that's not true. And that goes into another subject that we're going to do a workshop on called boundaries, because some of us have a hard time with time management because we don't have boundaries around our time. So the importance of scheduling your time and your family's time is so when someone asks you to do something, or even when an opportunity comes up, you can look at your calendar and say, realistically, can our family go to that Christmas party the day before a big reading test? Can I commit to going to a wedding in July and my family reunion? So it's important to start thinking about boundaries and knowing that it's no problem saying no. No problem saying no. Every time you say no to one thing, you're saying yes to something else. And it's important to show your children time management and boundaries. So another type of boundary we need to work on is establishing boundaries between roles. So creating boundaries to separate work and school from family time. You may want to have a time in your house where there's no cell phones. So when we're having the family meeting and family dinner, everyone put their cell phone in a basket, turn it on silent, turn it off, and we pay attention. Or every weeknight from 5 to 7 is homework time. We're not going to watch TV until that. When you put boundaries around roles, such as who's going to sweep the floor, who's going to help with laundry, who's going to help wash dishes, once your kids get to a certain age, you definitely should have them doing certain chores, cleaning up their room. But when you give them chores, it has to be consistent, something that they can do, and a place where maybe they see a reminder. So in some stores, they actually have a chore list that is colorful. You can put it on the refrigerator, you could put it on the wall, and everyone sees their chores for the week. But the reason you want to have boundaries around your time, and the reason you want to prioritize, is so you can focus on what you're doing. So if it's family movie night, we can focus. You don't have to keep answering your phone because your friend calls you. If we're going on a trip, we can focus because we got our homework done during the school year. When you're able to focus on one thing at a time, it actually helps you to reduce stress. Sometimes we think we'll get more done by multitasking, but research shows that the more you multitask, the less you actually get done. And then you want to encourage open communication. So whether it's at the dinner table, whether it's when you're walking or picking your kids up from school or dropping them off, whether it's at the family meeting, you want to ask your child, can I see your schedule for class? Can I see what your teacher sent home about when the statewide tests are? And if you don't know when the various city and statewide tests are, I would highly suggest going to Parent Teachers Night, or even before that, speaking to your child's teacher and finding out when the various big tests are. If your school has Dojo like PS96 or some type of online platform, often those platforms will send reminders before major tests. They'll send reminders before major school assemblies. But you also want to speak to your child about what's happening with cheerleading, what's happening at school for the holidays. This just helps to get everyone talking, and it also fosters empathy and support within the family. And sometimes it may seem redundant to talk about certain things because you know the schedule. But each time you talk to your child, that helps them with their vocabulary, especially if they're smaller. It gives them a chance to practice asking questions, answering questions, and it really helps them even with reading when they're able to talk to adults and hear conversation. And so, are there any questions or comments before we move forward? I see something in the chat. Yes, so help when needed and help others in the family when needed and find solutions in the group so we can be active in listening and have open dialogues. Sometimes when I try to figure out an issue by myself, I don't know what to do, but when I talk to a group of people, someone in the group has the perfect idea. And I've even been in situations where there's a group of people and a little kid around, and the adults are like, what do we do? What do we do? And the kid blurts out an answer, and the answer actually is the solution to the problem. And everyone's like, wow, why didn't we think of that? So, because each person sees things in a different way. So, the more people you have talking about something, the more ideas you'll get. And thank you so much for everyone in the chat. And so, one way you don't want to only schedule work and homework and shopping trips and chores, but you also want to go back to that harmony piece. The reason we're mastering time and planning our time and having time management is so we can have more time to relax together as a family, to bond, to have fun, to have those memories. And so, you also want to schedule times to foster connection and well-being. So creating family rituals, and this is not anything religious, but these are just weekly family activities or traditions that build a sense of togetherness and also support emotional health. So that could be going to a Yankees game, watching a funny show every Christmas on TV, going to grandma's house for Thanksgiving, family game night. It doesn't have to be a lot of money or time, but it's just something that the family does together. So every Black Friday, we watch a movie at home and pop popcorn. And then you want to plan screen free time. And we'll go more into this in the tech workshop, but encourage moments where all family members unplug to connect without distractions. I already talked about that, but that's probably going to be the hardest thing to do with your children. You probably it'll be easier to hand them a planner and have them write and scribble in the planner than to put that phone down sometimes. And when we do the tech workshop, we're going to talk about and give resources on how you can practically help, have screen-free time. And then engage in collaborative activities like they can help you cook, or everyone can clean together to music, or games that require teamwork. Games like charades, or games like, you have to be careful with Monopoly, because I'm a nice person, but when Monopoly comes up, I get a little aggressive. And I had an aunt who was really nice, but when Monopoly came up, it just, so what games will keep the family peace, and what games will tear the family apart, so, but things that you all can do together. And yes, Kai, downtime is truly enriching time for families to truly grow connections and build understanding on everyone's personalities. Yes, sometimes you don't know who the good actor in your family or friends group is until you play charades and they act things out. Or you don't know the person that knows all the facts about the 70s until you play a game. Or who is really tight with money until you play Monopoly, or who's deceptive when you play spades. So don't think of the free time or the family time as just, oh, that's not important. That's just as important as everything else. And you're scheduling your time so you have more quality time together. And then self-care for family members. We want to support each other's well-being. And self-care is one of those things. It's not just getting your hair done or your nails done or taking a bath, but it's also, how do you take care of your physical health, your mental health? How do you just rest your mind? So we encourage individual self-care routines, such as hobbies. They have adult coloring books now. For a younger child, you may encourage them to color or to play pretend. Or if you have a little girl and it's appropriate, you can, paint nails with her. It can be relaxation activities or sports or hobbies. but also practice collective well-being activities. And that's when, as a family, you engage in self-care. So maybe going for a nature walk, or praying together, or meditating together, or going to a family counselor together. And then normalize open discussions on stress. So when it's the time of school year where everyone's taking tests, talk about it at the table. Oh, it's so stressful. Everyone has tests. I remember when I was young, I was so stressed this time of year. Give your kids an opportunity to see that stress is a part of life. The issue sometimes is we hide all the stress from our children, and then when they get out on their own and they encounter finals week at college, they fall apart because they never knew the good and the bad of stress and of life. Now, this doesn't mean tell your child inappropriate things, but it also doesn't mean shielding them from when they're stressed. You can even tell them, oh, mommy's a little quiet today because I'm a little bit stressed. You don't have to worry, but you want to normalize that so that they know it's safe to share concerns when the time comes, because you want them to be able to share if someone's bullying them or if they feel very stressed out. And you don't want them to think stress is something that only happens to bad people or lazy people. No, stress is something we all have. It's just how we deal with it that matters. And so some tips for minimizing distractions. When you are working on something important, it's really critical that you're not distracted. You know, when your kids try to do homework, if they're distracted and looking at cartoons and listening to music, they don't get a lot done. Some people can work with a podcast or music in the background. Some people absolutely can't. You have to know what type of person you are, know what type of person your kids are. Like with me, I can get things done with music or a podcast, but it can't be something like I'm listening to a podcast about war. It has to be the right thing. But you want to create times where you're focused on what you're doing, and also creating times, again, where your family's engaging together without distractions. So again, it helps for young people to have times where the screen goes off. So 9 o'clock every night, no more iPad, no more phone. You can, play with the times, but you want to sometimes designate work zones. You may want to set up a space where you do work, where you study, especially if you work from home or you sometimes work remote or you work for yourself, so that you know when I'm in the bedroom, when they're in the bedroom, we can watch TV, we can sleep, we can play, but we don't eat there, or we don't do work in the bed. Now, a lot of us as adults will bring work to bed, and then that in our mind, when we go to sleep, it takes us longer to get to sleep because our mind is associating our bed with the desk. So even if it's at the kitchen table, having a place where you know that this is where we're working, this is where our toys go. One, it helps keep things. Thank you so much, Kaya. That's a great comment in the chat. Everyone read that comment. But you want, even for your kids to know, we don't eat everywhere. We don't play with toys everywhere. We don't work everywhere, because when you work everywhere, you're always working. And then you want to prioritize mindfulness. So mindfulness comes from some Eastern religions or mental health, and it's just thinking about what you think. You could mindfully eat. That means you're thinking about what you're eating, not just quickly eating and not thinking about it. You're thinking about what you're thinking, not just thinking negative thoughts. You're thinking about how you're living your life. And so encourage family members to stay present during family activities and meetings, because once a moment is gone, you can't really get it back. And so if we're opening up presents for someone's birthday and I'm on my phone, I can't get that moment back. And so make sure that after you schedule your time, that you use boundaries to make sure no one's distracted during the time, or to make sure that people don't encroach on your time. And so as we prepare to close, this is the opportunity for you to win a virtual Amazon gift card, which I will email you right after this workshop. And so how you win this gift card is you have to come on camera, come off mute, and state your name, what school or schools your children attend, and one action you will take after this workshop to help your family have better time management. So is there anyone who would like to complete this action?
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Tyler.
So, hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Kai Baltimore. My child's school is Zeta Charter School. And I feel like one action I would take after this workshop to help my family have better time management is to first continually have a chat on, hey, these are all of the things that we have going on. Okay. And how do you think it best to manage our time, right? So baby has school 5 days a week, of course, right? But what about after, school is done? What can we do? Like, how will we plan on, you know, optimizing our time amongst us all? Like, who will pick up, right? Who will help with homework, right? Will we help with homework together, right? Or, who will cook while the child is doing homework, right? And what days, maybe if we're having company, all right, can we just plan everything accordingly? And yeah, will we use our calendars? Will we use our written calendars and our phones, stuff like that? And just take the time to just discuss it. All right. And if we forget, like, no one is to get upset with one another. Just take the time and discuss, hey, maybe I have something to do at that scheduled time. Can you do it? Right?
That is great. Thank you, Kaya. So I'm writing down your name, Kaya Baltimore. And I think I have your email, but if you can make sure to put it in the chat so I can email you your workshop gift, your Amazon gift card. But thank you. So that's excellent.
Thank you.
You are going to schedule a chat where you and your family can talk about what you have going on. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yep. And so those family meetings, so that is great. Thank you so much. And let's give Kaya a round of applause or some love in the chat. I don't know where the emojis are, but thank you so
love
much.
everyone.
Thank you so much. And then really quick, we are wrapping up, but before we wrap up, I do want to invite Anicia from PS 96. She's been coming to our workshop since last year. She helped co-teach our tech safety workshop, and she wanted to share a little bit about family time management and harmony. So Anicia, if you can come off of mute and come on the camera, if you can, and just share for a minute some thoughts that you prepared, and thank you for all the help you're giving us. And thank you, Kai, for your email too.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can everyone hear Anicia? If you could put a 1 in the chat.
I start the video, but I don't know why.
So we can hear and see you.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah,
If you can see me, it's okay, perfect.
Yeah, we can hear and see you. Can everyone else see her?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're saying they can see you. So
no, the problem was that I can see myself, but it's okay. If you can see me, it's okay.
You're pinned, so that might be why. That means everyone can see you better.
Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope everyone is well. I am Anissa, the parent of 2 daughters from PS 96 school. You explain about our workshop today. You explain everything exactly, and that it is very meaningful for our family, our time. But I wanted to say something. We know that we work every day and we make a lot of things to have a success family and harmony family. So if we will have a family unit, so when all the members of our family can thrive emotionally, mentally, and physically. So when we will have a safe environment, so it will be a family unit for everyone. We explained a lot of steps that we have to attend or to follow for to have a family successful, and how to manage um, everything for to be better for our family. But I think that after this workshop, I want to say something that communication and building the best relationship with no breakdown, no miscommunication, no conflicts. It will be the best way how we can support and how we can have a great family and family harmony in everyone. So we know that we are parents, but in some time we have to be active listening. So we have to be full attention when our kids they are younger than us, but when we have to have full attention when they speak, we have to be part of open dialogue. So we have to build a safe space for them to express their thoughts, their feeling, so we can understand them more in this situation. We can find solution for everything. We have to celebrate the others for their achievements. This is the best that we can do for them. If maybe their achievements are not so bigger than we expected, but we have to celebrate about children, about their achievement for their children. And the best of all is to have a quality time together. So to have, you said about this, that we have to have activities together, help each other in family, understanding other in a lot of situations. Maybe we are parents and we can't understand our children in a lot of situations, but we have to be more empathic. We have to wear their shoes, so we wear their shoes, so we can understand them very well. And you said that we have to avoid boundaries for everything in our family.
Yes.
So I can't say something more than than you explained, but thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity that you told us to say something about this workshop.
Thank you so much, Anicia. And you brought up really communication, boundaries. And I will also be emailing everyone what Anicia wrote and prepared to share in the workshop. And if you want to, ever assist in a workshop, please email me and we can talk about it. But thank you so much for sharing, Anicia. And thank you, Kai, for playing the game, and all of you for being here. And if there's anyone else who wants to share in the chat, please do. But as we wrap up, because I want to respect everyone's time, I just want to go over just some quick conclusions and key takeaways that we've already heard from Kai, from Anicia. But essential strategies for family success is to prioritize shared goals and quality time. So don't only focus on what you all have to work on, but also having quality interactions that promote a harmonious environment. So you could be so on point with your work that you never spend time together as a family. What we're saying is manage your time so you have more quality time with your family. And then optimize your schedule and reduce distractions. So shared calendars. For those of you, thank you so much. For those of you who are going to use phone calendars, and especially Google calendars, you can share those calendars with your older children, with your partners on Google Calendar. You have an opportunity to put someone's email in there, and if they accept it, they get to see the calendar. having regular family meetings, but also minimizing distractions when you spend family time together. As we approach the holidays, that's going to be important. And then support individual and family well-being. Make sure you practice self-care as a parent, and also that you give your family time together for self-care and open communication. And remember, even when you're not speaking, your children are always looking. So when you practice self-care, when you practice being focused, when you openly communicate, that also shows your children, even smaller children, what they will do when they get older. And so, are there any other questions or comments? You can come off of mute and ask, or you can just put it in the chat. Any other questions or comments? And so I just want to take a moment. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat or, raise your hand. But in the meantime, I just want to show you a quick way that you can practice self-care anywhere. It's free and it's quick. And that's by taking a deep breath. So you can do belly breathing. You can breathe and count slowly, like breathing and counting to 10. You can just breathe in and out and just pay attention to your breath. Or you can visualize something positive while you're taking in each breath. And what we're going to do right now is a belly breath. And so that's when you slowly fill your belly with air and then breathe out. So if you could do this with me, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Excuse me. So biologically, when you take those breaths in and out, it actually helps reduce the stress hormones in your body. It helps oxygen get to your mind if you're feeling tired or have brain fog. And speaking of health and self-care, I want to invite all of you to join NIDC's November Health Hub workshop called You're Too Sweet, and it's a workshop in observance of Diabetes Awareness Month. Even if you don't have diabetes, there may be someone you know who has diabetes. There's diabetes that you're born with, but there's also diabetes that you develop and can be prevented. So even if you don't have it or no one in your family has it, come to find out how to prevent diabetes. And Abner Khan from the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, which is a medical school, will be presenting, and it'll be at the Eastchester Community Gardens Center on November 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. You can register at this link right here, or you can point your phone camera at the QR code that says "Scan Me" and you can register. And I'll also, in the follow-up email to this workshop, I'll be including the flyer for the Health Hub. We sometimes give out a gift card at the Health Hub. Some of our partners bring gifts, and we usually have a light meal. And if you need childcare, let us know, and we encourage you to bring young people as well. And then to help us prepare future parent workshops and events, in person and online, we do ask that you take the feedback survey for this workshop. We do look at the feedback surveys, and a lot of the topics this year come from the feedback surveys that we got last year. So if you can just point your phone camera to the QR code and you can pull up the feedback survey, or you can type in this link right here to take the feedback survey. And I will also drop the feedback survey in the chat for everyone. But if you could take the feedback survey tonight while things are fresh in your mind, that would be very helpful. And I'm putting the feedback survey in the chat. But we really, really do appreciate the feedback because it really helps us as we develop these workshops. And then please stay connected with NIDC on our website, on our social media. If you go to our YouTube channel, there is a virtual family support network workshop playlist of some of our past virtual workshops. I'll also send that in the email, but this is my direct number and also my direct email. If you have any questions or suggestions or need any connection to services for you and your family, please be in touch. And I want to just thank you all for being here tonight and taking the time to really plan for you and your family's future. So thank you all so much. And I hope you have a wonderful November. And stay tuned, Kaya, for your gift card. And everyone else, stay tuned for the follow-up email with the resources. Thank you so much. Thank you,
guys.
Alexa, also for helping as well. And I hope you all have a good rest of your week. Good night.
Good night.